So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control it in my bones. I'm coming for it, coming for it. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins. Won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall. I come to take it all. I'll take it. I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control it in my bones. I'm coming for it, coming for it. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it. Fuse like a magnet, lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, cause that's what it takes. up all the pieces is a form of art. I'm never gonna look back, 'cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change, slowly take a step today. I will never be the same, 'cause that's what it takes.
All right, guys, happy Wednesday. Welcome back to the channel. Let's see who we got in the chat here. Tito, Anya, Corey, Tony S. Good evening, guys. Welcome to everybody else who hasn't said hello in the chat just yet. And we got a couple tickers to go over tonight. I want to talk about some of the videos that I put out over the past week or two because, you know, people create their own version of why I'm making videos. I don't know. I guess these people just must not be regular tuners into the channel or not members of the Discord. Tony made a video, he must be short. Tony made a video, he must hate this company. No, much like you guys, I hate losing money. And hopefully like you guys, I want to bring profits home, and more importantly, I want to see you bring profits home. Look, we all like speculating and well, not all of us like speculating in troubled stocks, but many of us do. Some of us just like value plays and profitable companies. But for those of you like me that dabble in the retail trades and the no revenue stocks, the negative revenue stocks, hey, these are very risky plays, and I want to see you get a good entry, and then I want to see you get an exit. Whether that exit, what that exit is, I should say, doesn't matter to me, as long as you're happy at the end of the day and not one of these people like the MMTLP or the BBBY, all tickers that I covered and had the same suggestion. Hey guys, you might want to think about taking some profits off because this ain't looking good. But people don't want to listen. And then what do? They want to cry for 3 years saying they got ripped off. No, you didn't get ripped off. You got greedy. And some of these tickers I cover, I do videos on, is because the people that are covering them don't talk about risk. They don't ever talk about selling, taking profits off the table. In fact, they tell you never sell. Like, why are we here? We're here to buy cheap, sell high, take home the profits, rinse and repeat. And just because I'm going to be that little angel on your shoulder reminding you to take some profits off, guys, doesn't make me a short. Quite the opposite. I want to see you survive in this game. Where your brackets are, where your profit taking point is, that is up to you. I don't know your risk tolerance, but I can look at the financials of a company. I can look at a filing, and I can be the one to remind you, hey, this company's a piece of shit, and if we get blessed with a run up, buddy, take some money off. You will thank me later. If you think it's going to run, don't take it all off. Just start thinking about your brackets. Understand the risk. understand even more importantly the company's motivation. A lot of these companies are getting pumped because they have no liquidity. They're insolvent. The only way they're surviving is by dilution, by ATMs, by people that they've given bonds or debt to, trading in warrants. And you got to be aware of all that stuff. You got to be aware if they're illiquid, if they are insolvent. You got to be aware if they have an open S1 or S3. You got to be aware if they have convertibles out there and what the conversion price. You got to be aware of what the warrants are and what the strike price is. Because all of those people are going to come crashing down on your party of the stock running up, and all these blabbermouths on YouTube giving you $1,000 price targets on a 50-cent stock. They're just not looking at this stuff. They make up data. They look at short volume and call it short interest. Ridiculous. And their predictions never come true. And if I say if they ever come true, it's like 1 in 10,000. And 99 they lose on, along with everybody on their channel. And it is a shame, and there's no need for it. Look, just because I'm the guy talking to you about keep in mind the risk, have some profit-taking brackets, does not make me a short. And like I have a legal disclaimer in every video, I have never in my life shorted a stock. I don't work for shorts. I don't work for Adam Aaron either, or AMC. I like movies. I'm an A-list member. I don't own any AMC stock. I don't care what you do with your stocks. I read filings. I trade stocks, and I try and share my DD with you. You might like it, you might not. But you're welcome either way. Just behave like an adult in the chat. Tito says, where did I get the song from? The songs that I have in the opening are part of the YouTube library. I forget the Rival is the name of one of the bands, and I or groups, sorry, and I don't remember the name of the other one. Anya says you only see Clint. Let me see if I can fix that for you, Anya. There we go. Howdy, 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 howdy. Finishing up my little speech here. I did a video 2 weeks ago on Wolf. Wolf was filing bankruptcy and uncertain. We still are uncertain exactly what the payout is going to be. I was reading some of the court documents on Wolf, and they said we want. This is actual wording. I'm going to take a little bit of liberty because I didn't commit it to memory, but basically the lenders in the court document said, we're going to give the common stock shareholders a gift of giving them 2 to 5%, whatever, 3 to 5%. They used the words, we're giving you a gift, which is funny. And I haven't read through all the paperwork to see if they've assigned a value for the company or what these people are going to get paid. However, Wolf has been on fire. Let's pull up that chart. And I don't know if you guys, not all of y'all are in my Discord, but I was looking strongly at buying Wolf when it bottomed out here around 38 cents. And I decided not to because I had already made up my mind that I was going to wait until the paperwork was filed. Because a lot of times we get new information when we see a court document filed. And, you know, bad luck on my part. It started running before the paperwork got filed. And God bless you, man. If you bought in at 38 cents, you had to run up to 3.33. That is beautiful. I would have loved to have participated in that. But my decision was wait till the court paperwork was filed, read through it. And by the time that happened, it had already run. And I was like, well, file that away for learnings on the next one, which is why I pay attention to these bankruptcy plays. Everyone is a little bit different, and everyone is a learning moment. The other ticker, let's see, we talked about Hycroft. I think we don't need to talk about Hycroft, although I think it had a good day today, if I recall. A lot of y'all been asking me, do I still own Hycroft? I did buy in after the recent dilution. That's my favorite time to buy in, if you don't know that by now, on any ticker after dilution, not before, if I can avoid it. And so I'm in Hycroft at 303. Doesn't mean it's risk-free, but the big boogeyman that I was worried about got out of the way, this big red candle, and I jumped in a small position. And my target would be between 360 and 460 to get out. We're at 348, so that's where I'm at with Hycroft. The other, we talked about Quantum and Genius Group, GNS, both hired our friend Kevin Malone to promote the stocks, and hat tip to Kevin for being up front with everybody and disclosing that he was paid promoter. That I respect that. I have no problems with Kevin Malone. Want to make sure that's clear. I give people a hard time for some of the DD they share every now and then, but look, Kevin got hired to do a job, and he's doing the job, and he disclosed it. So what more do you want from the guy? Whether you jump on that momentum train or not, that's up to you. I don't care that Kevin's promoting Quantum. I don't care that Kevin's promoting Genius, but I am going to read the filings of those companies, and I do understand the motivations of those companies. They both absolutely need to dilute to stay alive. Quantum has no revenue. Genius Group has been losing money for years, and they will continue to dilute. That's why Kevin was brought on board, to get you to help him run up the price so the company can make you exit liquidity, issue more shares, and keep going. And maybe some of the other stuff that they're doing works out, the lawsuits against naked shorts, the dividends, the products, maybe all that works one day. But right now, in the short term, these are promoted stocks to get a cash raise done. So you play them to your heart's content. I play these stocks. I've traded Genius Group. I have not traded Quantum, but there will be dilution. There will be more dilution. So you got to trade them smart. It's the same talk that we had at the beginning of this video. I don't care what you do, but I'd like to see you take home a profit and not be one of those ones tweeting, oh, I'm down 20,000 in Finger, I'm down 50,000 in Quantum. Why did I buy at 38? Oh man, AMC has got some news. We'll get to that in a second. Cheers, everybody. And let's talk about Railtown real quick. Railtown is our favorite little penny stock that we've been talking about in Discord. There's one YouTuber that I know of that's covering it. And, you guys know I've been trading Finger, FNGR, for years. And Finger had a nice little run recently. And I made my normal disclosure when I bought in at $1. And then when it started running, I bought in back here, $1.30, $1.08, tweeted it out in December. I don't know why people think I hate Finger. No, I just hate leaving gains on the table when they have a nice run up like this. So as it was running up, I started tweeting. Months later, I guess everybody forgot I bought in at $1. I started tweeting, time to start thinking about taking some profits. They're going to roll this thing over and dilute. And, the YouTubers, oh, Tony's he's paid for by the shorts. Boy, once you cross that line with me, I'm going to stick my nose so far up the ass of the tickers you cover that you're going to get really uncomfortable. So that is how I started covering RLAIF, because these dipshits that lie and don't want me talking about their stocks like Finger, which I've been trading for years and doing DD on and sharing it with you guys for years. You're going to tell me that I can't cover it? You're going to say just because I recommend that you trim off some profits before it dumps, which it did, you're going to tell me I can't do that? You're going to lie to your audience and say I'm short? Boy, you opened up a can of worms, because I'm going to dig through every ticker you're promoting, which is how I started looking at Railtown. Because the one YouTuber that covers it, he lies about me every day, saying that I'm short or I work for the shorts. Nobody fucking pays me. If you're in my Discord, you know that I've said some very positive things about Railtown. In fact, I've tweeted twice about it also. Positive things about the RLAIF, about the potential breakout above 40 cents. I tweeted right before here that if it broke through, it could be a good runner. What do you know? The next day it broke through and was a good runner from 40 cents up to 62. I tweeted out also this week that we're at the final supply zone here now for RLAIF. This is a testing point for this ticker. If it rejects, you should be careful. If it pushes through, I think there's reason to be optimistic again. But this is a no revenue company at the end of the day. It's a penny stock. They have zero revenue. Why is the price running up? Because there's no shorts in the play. There's just buyers. The share, the viewers of this one channel that have been covering it have driven the price up, because there's just nobody trading this stock except them, and all they're doing is buying, which is fine till someone decides to start selling. That's when it'll roll over, but they don't seem really interested in selling, and that's cool. As long as it's running, keep in your position. But understand one thing, the company is a non-revenue company. What is going to happen? They've already disclosed to you in their quarterly filings that they don't have enough liquidity and they will need to raise more cash. So you know it's coming. It's just a matter of time. Tick tock. But the besides that, hanging over your head like a guillotine, because we don't know when and we don't know how much dilution it's going to be, they have one other little interesting iron in the fire. They announced in February that they were going to acquire a much bigger AI company. AI Partnership is the name of the acquisition. Announced in February, they said, we signed a MOU, a memorandum of understanding, and we plan to share a letter of intent in the coming weeks. Now, March, April, May, June, we're 5 months. For me, that's a lot more than a couple weeks. 5 months, no news. But, you know, these things can be complex, so that's fine. But that is why people are trading RLAIF on a speculative bet that this acquisition transforms the company's revenue, and maybe it does. I think the management of Railtown looks solid to me. The management of AIP looks even more solid. It's a private company, AIP. I don't know if they have revenue and profits. The rumor is they do, but then that kind of leads you into the question. If this little OTC ticker, RLAIF, which has no revenue and only about $1 million in cash, is going to buy a company with $400 million in revenue, how? How do you do it? That was what my video was about. Just asking the question. Look, if you are a believer in RLAIF, if you're promoting it, I know they've seen my video because they talked about it for the last couple days. No answers. No answers to my question, which is, my video is just a question. How does Railtown acquire a company with $400 million in revenue when they have no cash and they themselves have no revenue? The obvious answer, which may or may not be correct, is giving a fuck ton of shares of Railtown to the equity owners of AIP. And those two companies then, you know, they acquire it by giving them shares. But de facto, what happens is anyone who's in AIP now becomes a majority stakeholder in Railtown. And if you're in Railtown now, there's in my opinion, a strong chance you get massively diluted. And then you become a minority stakeholder. Why would AIP be interested in doing that? Because they're a private company and they want access to the public markets. Railtown is publicly traded. And it's a way for them to get their foot in the door to having access to capital to further grow the company without having to tap on their private investors over and over. They can tap you, which is another thing. And all of this is kind of hinted at in the February press release. It's another hint that even after the acquisition, there's likely to be dilution, because that is the point of doing this acquisition. And all I asked with the Railtown video, it's been a fine trade for the past month. But how are they going to acquire AIP? I'm waiting for one of the proponents of the company or the main promoter of the company on YouTube to explain to me or his audience what his thoughts are. How do you make it happen? I laid out about 7 different ways and I assigned probabilities to them. We'll see. We'll see which one, if any of the 7 ways that you could do an acquisition play out. We'll see. And I hope that I'm completely wrong for the sake of, I mean, there's literally, guys, people following this YouTuber that have $10, $50, $100,000 invested in a penny stock that has no revenue and no published details of the acquisition since a press release in February. No idea how the transaction is going to go down. No idea if the target has revenue. I mean, God bless you. If you got the balls to roll the dice on that, it might pay off or it might not. And I'm just going to be that angel on your shoulder asking the annoying questions so that you can think about, is my risk properly managed? And if I'm just aiming for the fences and I got my life savings on this and I'm good with it, you know, if you're good, if you did that and you're good with it, then God bless you. Do your thing. Do your thing, boo. But I don't want to hear you crying. I don't want to hear you crying for 3 years if it doesn't go as you expect. Just own your choice. We got a lot of crybabies in social media, not very many people that will man up and own their choice. I don't know. All right. I did a GameStop video today talking about the cash floor. Before we get into GameStop, though, let's talk about AMC because we had a little bit of news. Someone said, "What is with the purple crowns?" I guess that's a new feature on YouTube or maybe Streamlabs. It says top fan, maybe top chatter. I don't know. Bigums, how you doing, amigo? Let's talk about AMC real quick. Bigums is here. Maybe you can throw in some comments. We had some news in the last 9 days. I've been every day busy bee giving my thoughts to people in the Discord. Not so much on YouTube, although I do see I have what? 1, 2, 3 videos talking about the deal. I guess I did share a couple thoughts, but I didn't share all of them because YouTube ain't ready. Twitter ain't ready for what we're talking about in the Discord. Y'all not ready. You're not ready. There's some shit's about to go down, you guys. A lot of people don't want to hear it, and I don't want to deal with the fucking headaches of all the negative Nancys. Oh, how dare you read the filing, Tony? Fucking shill, why are you even here? To read the filing? To help you because you don't do it? To let you know what's coming because you're driving with your blinders on? Now, you want to ignore the filing, that's hey, you do you. I don't care. But a lot of my audience wants to know. They don't have time to read 40 pages of bond documents and legalese. I'm just an old man sitting at home with nothing to do. I got all day as I'm day trading or swing trading to read documents, and I like doing it because it helps me learn and it helps me teach you. I've learned so much over the last 4 years, and I certainly don't know everything, but every day that you sit here and read these filings, they start making more sense, and you start being able to pick out what's important and what's not. That's why so many people miss things in them, because they don't know what to look for, or they read over something. I was guilty of that myself. But hey, guess what? AMC over the last few years, that's been a wake-up call to pay fucking attention to the filings. Because man, if you weren't, you got burned. And there's going to be some people get burned here again between now and December. AMC swapped their debt. They also announced in the last day or so they sold more 2029 and 2030 bonds, and they used some of that money to retire 2030 convertible notes and 2026 debt. I had originally said that I thought the senior debt and the subordinated debt might be treated differently, the 2026, that they would pay off the senior debt, which is around 131 million, and the 42 million of 5.875% subordinated debt, which, you know, that's what we could buy out there if you're a bond buyer. And I have people in my Discord that are owners of those bonds, bond traders. I thought that they might just let that roll till 2026, but no, they announced the other day that they're issuing a call on those bonds, and I saw word from someone in Discord that he got the call. His bond's going to be bought back. So all the 2026 debt will be bought back as part of this deal from July 1st. And then what? Then we got to think about 2027. And I guarantee you, Sean Goodman's already thinking about it, the CFO. 525 million of debt due in 2027. I mean, that's literally around the corner. I know in our world, seems like a long way away. In the world of corporate finance, it's already just right around the corner. Sean Goodman's already thinking about, what am I going to do? I'm not going to have 525 million extra. So they already got to be working a plan for that. But they got time. They got till middle of next year. But he's already working on a plan, I promise you that. And, you know, I think the company is probably hopeful that box office gets better, income gets better, cash flow gets better, and they have more favorable position when they go to renegotiate those bonds in a year. That's what I would be hoping for if I was Sean Goodman. Let's just be patient, see if things get better like we think they will. And maybe we can roll that debt a year from now. It'll still be a year early, but we got 18 months to figure it out. So that's the 2026 debt, the 2027 debt. We talked about the 2029 debt. They paid off some of it, and they took out more at an interest rate that is effectively double what they're paying right now. And that was a big miss that I saw from pretty much everybody on social media. Nobody caught that the interest rate was doubling on the 2029 debt, with penalties going up even more if shareholders don't approve more shares in December. We could have a 17% interest rate if shareholders don't approve the vote in December. That's one of the penalties. There's several penalties. So we're expecting a proxy in October. The meeting's on December 10th. And I'd lay money that on December 10th, if not before then. I'm not expecting before then because that'd be kind of rushed and not really necessary. But on December 10th, I think we'll, on October 10th, October 11th, whenever they issue the proxy, I think we'll see some wording about asking for more shares. And the big question, I don't know, is it asking for 300, 500 million more shares, just increase the float? Or is it reverse split to not increase the share count, but increase the price and collapse the capital structure so that it in effect frees up shares that they could sell at a much higher price than $3 for a period of time until the price gets walked down. What I did notice, and I haven't talked about it on a video yet, in the filings, there is some restrictions on AMC. After that vote, if shareholders approve more shares, the lenders have said, AMC, you cannot dilute for 6 months, if I recall correctly, with the exception, I think, of 50 million shares. So that's something, maybe we'll talk about after October when we see what's on the proxy, but just keep that in the back of your mind. Go look it up in the documents yourself. There is a restriction on AMC's ability to dilute after that vote. And, I'm kind of curious between now and in December, when are they going to start the messaging about, I guess they won't start it till the proxy comes out. Why talk about it now, right, Adam? He's hoping nobody pays attention. Right now, you got those 2030 convertible bonds. They got converted. Everyone is so hyped about 566. God, man, these lenders, as part of that settlement, remember I said it was going to cost something. It cost us, shareholders, even though I don't own any, but, I'm a shareholder by proxy. I will be a shareholder when the price is right. It costs shareholders a lot because those 2030 bonds, AMC, as part of the settlement, AMC had to let them convert at $1.79 instead of $5.66. So we got 79, 80 million new shares in the float, which I see the brokers haven't picked up on yet, but you'll see the market cap go up when that share count gets adjusted. Let's call it 80 million more shares in the float. And those, you saw the 13G yesterday from Discovery Capital. They own, 24, 26 million shares. That was part of the debt deal last week on July 1st. And how do I know that? You can look at the 13G and it says date of event that triggered this filing, July 1st. They didn't buy the shares, or if they did buy them, it's something related to hedging for some bonds that they have. But most likely, I think that they were part of the convert. It doesn't really matter because they're going to sell those shares, I think. And why do I think that? Because the same damn thing happened a year ago on July 24th or whatever day the debt restructuring happened in 2024. A couple days later, what do you get? Discovery Capital, 13G, 24 million shares. People went crazy. Oh, they believe in AMC. What happened? They sold all of them. By February, when they filed their next filing, they were 24 million shares. Poof. So I think you'd be foolish not to think that they're just doing the same thing right now. They got a sweet deal. They got some cheap shares. They're sitting on tens of millions of dollars of potential profit if they got the shares at $1.79. What? It's $3 times 80 million shares. If you think of all of these lenders that got these shares, that's $80 million of profit. I'd sell them. These guys are bondholders. They're not shareholders. sell, lock in your unexpected windfall as a lender. That's what you would do, I think. And then go rebuy the bonds with a higher rate. It's a win-win-win. They got a win with a cheaper convert. They're going to get a win with a windfall profit on turning the shares, and they're going to get a win with rebuying the bonds at a rate that's 2x what they were just in 2 weeks ago. That's what we paid. That was the settlement. AMC had little choice. They were over a barrel. And hey, I guess it's good to be a lender. They had all the cards this time around. Thank God they played ball. I mean, they could have played hardball and really effed AMC over. But they said, here's what we want. AMC didn't really have any choice. And here we go. Now we got 3 videos from me explaining all this stuff to you. And I know people don't want to hear any of this stuff. You don't want to hear that someone got shares for $1.79, that they're going to be selling 80 million of them to you. That's going to be suppressing the price if it tries to run up. You don't want to hear that. I get it. But it's still a fact. So use that knowledge to guide your decisions. There's going to be a lot of people that don't listen to this channel that are just going to be willy-nilly buying at any price every day. And I think the patient and the wise and the ones who read and pay attention have a great chance of getting an optimal entry at some point in the future without all this other overhang risk of lenders selling shares, adding to the selling pressure, hanging over us, and a vote coming up to ask for more shares in December. I think, unless I see Roaring Kitty come back and a runaway train on the meme stop basket, I'm okay with waiting till I see what happens. What's on the proxy? What's the vote? How bad is the fight going to be in social media between the no voters, the round 2 of the no voters and the yes voters? And as always, I'm not going to tell you how to vote. I didn't tell you how to vote last time. I will talk about the outcomes, the ramifications of both, and then it's up to you to decide. All right, let's read some comments here. Corax, what's up? He says, you basically treat AMC like a bankruptcy. They aren't in BK, but they are restructuring and obliterating shareholders because they have to. Yeah, I mean, you could call it a out-of-court debt restructuring. I think that's a fair way to say it. I mean, AMC got bent over. Shareholders got bent over. Yes, it pushed out some debt maturities. It got 2026 out of the way, but man, the price that was paid, the price that will be paid over the next 6 months, I mean, there's no way for me to spin it and tell you it's great. The only great thing about it is AMC lives to survive another day. And box office, I think, is going to get better. So I'm going to keep going to see movies because that's what I like to do. And that's my contribution for now. Concessions and A-list and talking up movies. Someone I says, are you shorting AMC? No, I do not. Man, go back to the beginning of this video. I do not short stocks. I've never shorted a stock in my life. But I can read a filing and I can explain it to you. And I'm sorry if it's not what you want to hear. I'm sorry if it's what the We Will Win guys tell you on their YouTube channels. This is not a hopium channel. This is not rainbows and unicorns. This is adult talk from someone that's reading a filing and telling you in very plain language what is going to happen. What you do with that information is up to you. I will tell you what I'm doing with the information. I'm doing nothing right now. I'm waiting. I don't short, so I want to go long at the optimal point. And for me, the risk is too much above where we're at right now. When that optimal point comes back, I will absolutely let you know when I went long again. And that is why I pay attention to it, because only by paying attention do we get the optimal entry. If AMC has a turnaround, if the box office recovers, there's going to be people that make a fuck ton of money. And there's going to be people that never recover anything from the last 4 years. Just a fact. I'm going to be the first category. If AMC recovers and the box office goes nothing but up from here, I'm going to be that guy that bought the bottom and rode it up 2, 3, 5, 10x. But I'm not there yet. I own none, and I'm not buying till I get some of this other stuff out of the way. But I don't think, there's no bankruptcy risk with AMC. They got the 2026 debt out of the way. They got at least till 2027. There is $500 million in 2027 they're going to have to deal with in a year, but let's see how the next year goes. In the meantime, it's just survival. So that's kind of where I'm at. Survive. First survive, then thrive. Isn't that what Adam said, or something like that? I forget. Ezazel said, Tony made me a believer in trading and investing again. Hoorah. And hopefully reading filings and doing proper analysis. And speaking of proper analysis, let's move into GameStop. The video today, man, I've seen a lot of people losing their mojo, losing their willpower, getting frustrated with GameStop. We're zen as fuck over here because we've been swing trading GameStop for years profitably. Not bag holding. I'm in at 21.61 right now on this current swing after the most recent dilution or bond offering dropped the price. I love to get in after a big red candle. But people on social media are getting frustrated because they're starting to realize Ryan Cohen doesn't care about a MOAS, and I agree. He doesn't care about a MOAS. He cares about the long-term viability of the company and taking care of long-term investors, people that are in it for the long haul. You can do a lot with $8.5 billion in cash if you find the right deal. That's what Ryan's thinking. And doesn't mean that it's going to go to $1,000, but I mean, if you got in at 10, 15, 20, and he takes it to 30, 40, 50, with a proper investment of that cash, that's a good return. In the meantime, it's got a lot of volatility. Someone left me a comment and said, Tony, your video, come back and talk to me when it goes to 50. Hey, I hope it goes to 50. Why the fuck do you think I'm in the stock right now? Remember a year ago when I sold into the run up to 63? Please take it to 50. I'd love it. I will be selling into it and putting another notch on the swing trading profitably and successfully of GameStop, and not having to YouTube GameStop for 4 years straight and do nothing but be in the red. I will not be one of those GameStop YouTubers. I'll be the guy that is showing you the way to lock in profits. Be patient. Wait for a fucking cheap price. Understand the company's motivations. Understand the proper valuation. It's not $23. So that you understand the proper valuation so you can gauge your risk as you take your speculative entry. And then, like me, maybe you're waiting for Ryan to do something with that cash. I hope he does. I'm counting on him too. That's why I'm in it. And look, maybe Roaring Kitty comes back. Maybe just the stock market gets bullish on GameStop and the price drives up to 25, 30, 35 again. Beautiful. I'll swing out of the trade and wait for it to come back down again. 50 would be, please bring it. What I told the gentleman in the comments is that understanding how to value GameStop by running finance math, I've run it 4 different ways now. Shared many of them with the Discord. Haven't shared them with you on YouTube because, again, y'all aren't ready. Nobody wants to hear how to value GameStop. But I probably will. Probably will at some point. The fair value using anything that we learn in finance. Yes, I took finance. Yes, I took accounting. My degree's in economics. People think that I have no background in this shit. I was, in college thinking about going to work on Wall Street. However, I didn't really want to move to New York, and I ended up going in the tech industry with my economics degree. Minor studies in finance, accounting, banking. I ended up going in an engineering track. It worked out good for me. 15 years in the corporate life before I was able to leave that and just come sit here and trade stocks and eventually get mad enough at people on YouTube to start my own channel. When we apply common sense financial analysis to do a valuation determination, GameStop is not currently worth 23 bucks. It's just not. It's worth some number lower than that. We don't need to go into that today. Anything above the fair value is what we call speculative value. I'm in at a spec price of $21.61. I understand the fair value. I don't think it's going down there. Too much positive retail backing, I think, for it to get dropped all the way down there. Too much bullishness about having $8.5 billion in cash for it to go all the way down there. Could it? Yes. I mean, it could, but I don't think that's a likely outcome. So I'm okay buying it at 20, 21, 22. And with the high volatility, I expect, I have a greater than 50% chance to turn that into a profitable trade. That's why I'm here. Rinse and repeat. Correct says, are you buying Wolf at $2? No. I mean, Wolf had a good run up to $3, but my calculation was their payout is going to be between 60 cents and $1. Now, that's very back of the envelope, and I have no idea what the accuracy rate on my prediction is, but God bless, man. If you got in at 38 cents and had a chance to sell at 3.30, that's beautiful. There'll be people, Corey, actually know, that hold all the way, whatever it runs to. There'll be people that hold through it and then get wrecked when they announce the value of those shares. I don't think they've announced it yet, have they? Izuzul says, what keeps you so calm with these chats? Mostly just not reading them. I am reading them, but 4 years of getting called every name in the book. 4 years of reading every death threat you can imagine on comments of my YouTube videos. You just become immune to it. And if you can't become immune to it, then you won't survive doing YouTube. That's just a fact. I think that, I'm not a big fan of people that call people baggies and laugh at them and make fun of them. I understand where they're coming from. They get a lot of shit for trying to help people. But I think that, if we can remain calm and we're all on the same page, we want to make money and we like to trade speculative stocks and we don't short and we hate shorts. That is me, all of that. I like speculative trades. I'm a risk taker. I fucking hate shorts. I don't short stocks. but we can still use common sense, and we can still all learn together. If you're willing to listen to someone like me, if you only want the "we will win, guys, forget all the naysayers, block them, shun them, kick them out of the ranch," look, if that's what you want, good luck. It's not been working out for you, has it? Meanwhile, we're zen over here. Why are we zen? Because we're making money on the trades. We don't have angst. We know what's coming next. We can see the corporate actions before they happen. We talk about them in the Discord every day. What's this company going to do next? And I'm not just talking AMC. I'm talking any one of them that you can think about. If we put our collective heads together, we can figure out what these companies are likely to do next. And it's not difficult. Then it just comes down to you being smart about your timing. Darth Man, what's up? He says, looking to MU or Uber. I think both have good long-term upside. I haven't looked at MU in a long time. And Uber, I have some animus against Uber and Lyft for taking advantage of their drivers. You guys know I'll invest in any ticker regardless of politics, but when it comes to taking advantage of people, at the employees, contractors, whatever, at the expense of corporate profits, it really pisses me off. I mean, there are people driving their cars into the ground for pennies per mile because they're desperate and they don't know any better. And it really upsets me. But yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful chart. If you can stomach that, knowing that these profits are coming at the expense of millions of impoverished drivers who are trashing their cars for pennies on the mile, I guess, it's a good investment. I got to draw the line somewhere. That's one of my lines that I draw. I can find other companies I can feel good about besides Uber and Lyft who take advantage of their contractors. There was a day when they started out that they paid fairly. They haven't for a long time. And I use the service and I tip well and I talk to the drivers often and keep up with what's going on. Oh man, it's rough. It's rough for them. Dennis says the truth hurts a lot of people, but real truthful analysis is paramount to winning. Amen. Amen. Tito says 18 months of freedom until then. I forgot, what were we talking about? 18 months. Oh, 18 months till 2027 debt is due. Yeah. Yeah, if the box office grows and AMC gets net income and positive free cash flow, then, over the next couple quarters, we can see how they're lining up to handle $525 million of 2027 debt. But if the quarters aren't as good as we expect and they're not stacking cash, then we might need to have another come to Jesus talk. There was some interesting parallels today between AMC and GameStop around 12:15. Some of y'all in Discord pointed this out and others in the comments. There was this midday spike in volume and price. This is GameStop. And the same thing happened on AMC. And I checked a couple of other meme stocks in the basket. Didn't see others having that. I checked BlackBerry. I didn't check costs. No. Nobody else really had that. So, well, there is a little bit of volume spike on costs, I guess. But I mean, 16,000 shares. Well, if your volume's 100 shares, 16,000 is a lot. Someone made some move with meme stocks midday today, but it was short-lived. And that's not because they're trying to punish you or suppress the price. They have in their mind what the price should be, and they're going. If it gets run up, they're going to push it back down. They being in GameStop, you got $4 billion worth of bond holders running ARB strategies on the bonds, on options, and stocks. They're in control of the price, not us. That's just a fact. And you can call that manipulation. That's fine with me. But what are they manipulating it to? They're manipulating it to their version of fair value. If they get too greedy and push it down too much, people come in and buy it. So they got to know, what is the fair market price? What will the market bear? And they'll try and move it to that, whether it's up or down. I think they don't really care. We care, obviously. We want it to only go up. They're running multiple layered strategies, both long and short. I don't think they really care. Minicio says if Marcus Corp is at 17 and Cinemark 30, profitable AMC should be at least 8 to 10 per share. Yeah, I think we ran some numbers on Minicio on AMC. Like if you just imagine, I can model it in the spreadsheet. If we imagine what an annual earnings per share is for AMC, if there were 500 million shares and the annual EPS was 50 cents, earnings per share would be what? No, earnings per share would be 50 cents. And if we multiply that times a 20 PE ratio, that's a $10 stock. If my math is correct, right? The question is, can they get 50-cent positive earnings per share without more dilution? Because the more you dilute, the more you decrease any earnings per share. Sparky says you can't just say 8 to 10 per share. Yeah, that's kind of what I was going through, Sparky. It depends on how many shares. And if we're contemplating more dilution to stay afloat, that's going to drive the earnings per share down, which drives any derived price target down. So it's in all of our best interest to go see some movies, buy some concessions, get net income on the books, get free cash flow, minimize dilution, and then you can get those higher price targets. But golly, man, there's people on social media telling y'all don't go to movies, only buy shares. Like, I don't know what people are thinking. Like, we went off in some really different directions in our DD here. Don't support the company. Only buy shares. If you do that, you're guaranteeing more dilution. If all of us just walked away from going to movies and AMC lost millions of customers, that's millions of revenue lost, and you got nothing but dilution. You are fucked, basically. So I just beg these people that are angry at folks for going to movies, like, bro, take a chill pill. Everybody has a part to play, and revenue is critical, or you're fucked with your don't go to movies thesis. You're fucked. Ezazel says, when it comes to movies, isn't the split into every movie theater that exists in the U.S. Domestic and global box office is split across all of them. Yeah. And AMC gets a certain percentage of that every quarter, and it varies a little bit every quarter. Let's look at these other tickers here. I have AMC. IMAX was down top right 2% today. They got a analyst reiteration of 30, what was it, 36? Yeah, $36 price target. I don't know why it went down 2.5%, 2.25%. Cinemark got a $35 price target reiteration, and it went down 6%. I have no idea why this happened. And even more shocking, Cinemark and IMAX both were in the red today, and somehow AMC's in the green. Like, I don't know. I can't explain it. MCS is another ticker. I traded it last year. I don't own any right now. I sold into the run-up at the end of the year, which was around, I sold at $22.13 in November. It's at $17 right now. I've just been kind of waiting for a pullback, and you know, I think Q3 is really at risk here. Sorry. I think July is going to be great. I'm not convinced about August and September. Might be a chance that I re-enter Marcus if Q3 is not so hot and the industry kind of gets drubbed. But my other tickers that I own right now in this sector are Dolby and Cinemark, because I had to park my money somewhere, my AMC money, and both of these companies are profitable and doing fine. So I don't got to worry about dilution. I don't got to worry about negative earnings. I just park my money, let it go up, and then when the opportunity comes to buy AMC at the rock bottom, when all the dilution is done, I will move it back. I'm not going to sit here and just watch it get bled out by the company having to dilute and settle lawsuits. I'm just not. I care about my money. Love your money. You don't fall in love with the company. Fall in love with your what do they say? Not your portfolio, but your money. There's another word that's on the tip of my tongue. Your account. Your account balance. Fall in love with your account balance. Don't let it get hurt. Carl says, I know you don't like this, but it's idiotic not to support your investment. You're talking about going to movies, Carl? I mean, I listened to a couple of these guys having a space call, and they're trying to dox people for going to movies. That's how bad it is on social media in AMC land if you're not on Twitter. They're doxing people for going to movies. What the fuck, man? What the fuck is wrong with people? Oh, Lord. Michael says, has AMC made a profit in the last year? I don't recall when the last quarter was. Let's pull it up, Michael. I think it's been about a year. We got a chance here this quarter. Wow. Oh my gosh. Q3 of 2023. That's even further back than I thought. That's worse than I thought. We had 2 quarters in 2023. We had the strikes and stuff that hit us in 2024, but yeah, not too good. I think there's a chance that the company could make a profit this quarter, but I'm not confident enough to be that guy. And there is that guy. There's those guys that are telling you that this quarter right now, the one we just finished, is going to be the best quarter in the company's history. That's what they've been saying. I mean, I'll be thankful if we have a positive in front of the number, because I can see a scenario where it could be a negative. I hope it's not. And there's a, maybe a greater than 50% chance that it'll be positive. But I think, we should celebrate. If this Q2 is positive, we should celebrate. Let's plan on that. I saw a fuck ton of movies. I went to a double feature. Did y'all know that on Monday? I saw 2 movies at AMC. I saw one of those movies for the second time. I saw 28 Years Later again in Dolby. And then I went to the Monday night Screen Unseen, which, it's a mystery movie. You don't know what you're going to see. And it's kind of it was a rom-com horror movie called Oh Hi. That movie's coming out around July 25th. If you want to take your best girl or your best guy to a date night at the end of July, go see Oh Hi. There was a lot of laughter. It's a fresh story. It's not this cookie cutter nonsense that Hollywood puts out. Starts off very romantic, and then it devolves into a crazy girlfriend in a cabin with her man, and things start getting a little rocky, and it almost becomes a horror movie. It doesn't, but I mean, you're like, oh my God, that didn't just happen, did it? I think y'all will enjoy that movie if you get a chance to go see it. Benicio says 2 of your models are predicting a profit. Yes, that's why I say there's a chance. There's a chance that we could make a profit. If you look at my market share for AMC, low, medium, high, I said, there's like a 66% chance if we look at 3 scenarios, 2 of them show a profit, 1 doesn't. Where are we going to fall? Don't know. Don't know. I hope it's a profit. Ezazel says, I still have my AMC, but switch my focus on portfolio diversity and GameStop. I like it. There's GameStop YouTubers who tell people do not invest in any other stock, that diversification is dumb. Just pick one great stock and you'll be set for life. That's what Warren Buffett said. Warren Buffett did say, don't diversify. He said, dive deep in the companies, pick the winners, and go deep in them. He did say that. He said, if you're invested in 8 companies and you find a 9th or 10th one that just maybe not quite as good as the first 8, why would you invest in them? You got 8 solid plays. Why are you going to take your incremental next money and invest in something that's slightly worse? But Warren Buffett knew how to pick fucking companies, and he didn't pick companies with declining revenue and minimal profits. He didn't pick companies with no revenue. So you see how people twist what Warren Buffett said? They twist it. They tell you just what they want you to hear. They don't mention the fact that Warren Buffett knew how to fucking pick winning stocks. And he didn't dabble in companies that were on a secular decline, likely to dilute him. He would pick a good company with a solid business line, and he would hold it through thick and thin of the economy because he knew the company was solid and growing. The people that say don't diversify and just buy GameStop, just buy this penny stock, RLAIF, they are not picking good stocks. They're picking speculative stocks. I don't think Warren Buffett would say, don't diversify, put your entire life savings in a no revenue company like a penny stock AI company. I don't think Warren Buffett would be on board with that style of risk management. I love these speculative plays just like you guys, but I don't commit my life savings to them. I don't take out loans to go buy stocks. If I like it, put a little bit on the line. If I'm right, if I turn 1,000 into 10,000, that was a good trade. If I'm really feeling frisky, I'll add some call options on top of it. That's how I made my money in AMC back in 2021 when I was not on YouTube, just Matt and Trey. And I had been watching GameStop and I missed it. And then I was like, well, what else is out there? And I found AMC. It was cheap. It was like $7, $8. I bought some shares and then I added a few more and added a few more. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm going to buy some call options. And I bought a decent amount of call options, and those are what made me money when AMC ran in June of 2021. And you better believe I sold those call options. I made, I don't remember, $50,000, $70,000 off a few $1,000 investment. That was fine with me. I'm not trying to become a millionaire on a money-losing company. And then, you know, my mistake was using some of that money to buy shares at $40. That was a bad mistake. But, you know, I thought it could have a second squeeze, 30, 20, you know, whatever, the various prices I bought it at. That didn't work out so well, but that was the house money. I gave them back a little bit of their money. Not the brightest move, but it's not like I mortgaged my house and then lost it all on AMC. I made a lot on call options. And I started my channel, if you weren't here then, because I was mad at Matt and Trey for continuing to buy call options into the run-up and encouraging people to do so with ridiculous strike prices as I'm selling. On that day when our accounts were changing like a rocket ship odometer, I was like, what are these fucking kids telling people? Keep buying call options? Are you nuts? You guys know the rest of the story. It was an interesting play for the rest of the year. Short interest was high. And then the economy kind of turned against us and AMC kept on having to spend its cash. We voted against raising more shares. They had to pull the vote because so many people were voting no. Remember when Trey was telling people don't vote to allow more dilution? I think I might have even been on board with that too. Like, I want another squeeze. Dumb. We were dumb. Live and learn though. I mean, it was AMC's where it's at today because we didn't let them raise cash that second time. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Matt Kors, Ezazel. Matt Kors and Trey Trades were the two big YouTubers that everybody watched back then. I think I started my channel like a month and a half after that, late July. Because we had the run up. I had my son's graduation. We had our wedding. Scarlett and I, we had our honeymoon. And when I came back, I started getting ready to turn on the camera. JP, what's up? He says, we appreciate you, but AMC is full of fraud, starting with the CEO. for example, why did he sell APE at 60 cents when we saw it going down from $8 all the way to 60 cents? I mean, JP, there were, unfortunately, retail did not support APE. You know, you remember everybody that told you to sell APE and buy AMC instead. I tried to encourage not doing that behavior, but it was pointless. There were way too many people selling APE. And on top of that, institutions, we come to find out later, I didn't realize this at the time, but institutions, when they got their APE, they can't hold a preferred stock. They didn't need to hold it. And so we had all of that selling pressure. If I would have realized that, look, I can't foresee everything. That was an oversight on my part. Live and learn. I only found out about it by reading the court filings where the company fucking knew in advance that these institutions weren't going to be able to hold APE. God damn it, man. If I would have known that, I would have had a completely different perspective. But it got sold and the price got run down. And then many of us bought it at the bottom. When Antara got that really, really sweet deal, a lot of people in my Discord were buying it at that same price. Every one of us had the chance to buy it at that price. I bought down there, which is how I was able to exit the trade finally when the court decision happened and APE ran up. Thank God I had bought some cheap APE. But yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate. Was it illegal? Shorting stocks is not illegal. Institutions selling, maybe we should have been able to foresee that. I will know better next time. Probably won't be a next time, but it is what it is. I don't think that there was fraud or illegality. It was just we didn't read the play correctly. And I've done my best to take all the painful learnings from that and apply them to every other ticker we've looked at and go overboard on talking with you guys about risk. Because what became apparent to me after the whole APE debacle is that most people had no idea how to manage their risk. Yeah, I got stung a little bit, but I was playing on house money and I traded my way out of some of the red. And then after the decision and the dilution and the price drop, I was able to swing trade AMC profitably in 2023, 2024. After, the court decision. And you just have to read the filings and know what the company's going to do and unplug from all this stock is different. No. GameStop's not different. AMC's not different. With the right catalyst, they become different, but they're not different anymore. Yeah, Carl, I forget what the cheapest I got them at was. I know that like Grandpa Barney got a bunch super cheap. Mediocre got a bunch super cheap. When that court filing came out, I was reading it in the moment and it took me about 15 minutes to read it. They were buying as I was reading. I was like, this looks good. It looks like people are misjudging it. They were snatching it up. Tens of thousands of dollars of buys. And by the time I went to go do mine, 10 minutes later, it had already come back up. So I didn't get the absolute bottom. But those guys, anyone that went in heavy when it tanked, I know for a fact we all had the chance to get the same prices on Tara within pennies. You just had to have the balls to do it. And I know the men that did it. I can say I know the people that I was talking to them as they were doing it. So I don't want to hear from anybody that You didn't have the chance. I know plenty of people that had the chance and took the chance. Was it risky? Yeah. But we all had the opportunity. Best I could do was talk to you about the arbitrage and hope that you got in a good price and then wait for the judge's decision, which it all came out like we thought. The good old days, Carl. I'm glad those days are behind us. I'm glad we have a lot more clarity now. And, you know, I'm a lot more blunt with you guys now. Not because I want to scare you or not because I'm short, but because I realized there's people that have no idea how to manage risk. And they need to hear the raw truth. They're not reading the filings. They don't have time. They don't have interest. They only believe in naked shorts. They don't want to read any filing. They just want someone to tell them that everything is crime and naked shorts. Okay, you can believe that. I'm not going to try and talk you out of it. I don't care what you believe. Believe whatever you want, but I'm going to tell you what the filings are telling me. It's like reading a crystal ball. It's like reading tea leaves. You can literally predict the future. And I think we've done a bang up job of predicting the future on many tickers: AMC, BBIG, MMTLP, BBBY, GNS, Mullen. I mean, the list is finger. I can't even keep track of how many we properly called in advance to where you could get in cheap, sell into a run up, and avoid getting fucked when it crashed, because the crash always comes. JP says, I remember the whole reason for APE was to pay the debt, so everybody was waiting for the CEO to sell $1 billion at $5, and he sold at 60 cents. That was disappointing. I agree with you, JP. And a lot of people asked him, why didn't you sell it when it was higher? And I think, if I recall, he said his answer was, we didn't want to be accused of tanking the price. You know, I don't know if that's true. The institutions were already selling. If AMC added selling pressure on top of that, it just would have fallen faster, JP. And then I think it got so bad that it got worse than even management foresaw that it would get. I don't think they had any idea that it would drop that low. I mean, at one point we were like $8 AMC, 60 cents APE for the same fucking thing. There was no reason for them not to be the same price. That is crazy. They should have both been $4, for example. Sparky says, the Bed Bath & Beyond guys said new money coming in, it will uncancel. Yeah. The only people left in Bed Bath & Beyond are the most delusional ones, Sparky. And while I will say that nothing is impossible, I will always leave the smidgest of hope that I'm wrong. I think it's 99.99999%. Their shares are canceled. The assets are gone. Everything's been sold off. The IP stores are closed. There's literally nothing left except resolving a couple lawsuits. And even if those lawsuits are resolved, the debt holders are not going to get a full payback. So Common is going to get nothing in Bed Bath & Beyond. And I made that very clear long before the bankruptcy filing even happened, that it was going to be toxic death spiral dilution and that you would get nothing. And that is exactly what happened and what will happen. I get it. You know, they got nothing to do but hope and dream, and I don't spend my day beating them up. You know, I'd love to see them be right, but the reality is that is almost an impossible probability. JP says YouTubers like Ants are telling people next Monday is the day. Buy call options. Ants trades is still a thing. He's still around. Good Lord, man. These guys that just read charts and don't read filings, like, how fucked have they, must their portfolios be? Like, bros, you haven't been right about nothing. I don't mean just Ants Trade. Anybody that's just trying to read a chart and not understand what the corporate actions coming are, you hadn't been right about jack shit. Ezazel says that scenario finalized me, a non-believer. It woke me up to the reality of the market and made me go back to the drawing board and learn how to actually trade and invest. The drawing board can be boring, my friends. I get it. Nobody wants to learn how to read an income statement, balance sheet. Nobody wants to read a 10Q or an 8K. I get it. You just want to look at the chart and look for patterns that repeat and listen to somebody on social media that tells you you're right. Look at that pattern. It's going to repeat, but it's actually mirrored upside down. You got to flip it 180 and then 360. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Let's take this pattern from 3 years ago and over here, but they switched the algo, so we got to flip it, and then you turn it this way. Look, we're going up. Guaranteed. Oh, my word. What is that called? Is that like confirmation bias, where you're trying to recognize patterns and then create a narrative that fulfills your belief? Let me see how I can twist this to make what I want to happen look like it's likely to happen. Oh, gosh, man. I can tell you what's likely to happen just by reading an 8K. And we are rarely wrong. We might be off on the timing sometimes. That's okay. It's okay to be off on the timing. What you don't want to be is that guy that gets caught pants down when a corporate action is dropped after hours or in the morning, and you look at your screen and you're like, holy fuck, what caused that red candle? Yeah, I sold I had Bed Bath & Beyond. I sold my position like the day before Ryan Cohen, the day before the red candle. I sold GameStop in May of 2024 as it ran up to 63. I sold in the 50s. Next day, red candle. I'm not always that good, but when you know what's coming, you start taking some risk mitigation, lock in your profits. I let a little bit ride on the GameStop in May, but I had already locked in a lot of profit. The next morning I woke up, I saw that fucking 8K that he was doing at ATM. I immediately, without hesitation, sold before it all the way down. I didn't get out at $50 on the last bit of my shares. I think it was in the 30s, but it was better than where it ended up at. The one well, there's a couple that I'm interested in following just for fun right now, not because I'm shorting them. Quantum is fun to watch. That's got everybody all in a flutter right now. Genius Group, GNS. And this little OTC ticker, RLAIF. Because I really want to know how that acquisition is going to happen. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch my video. If you like these little learning opportunities, go watch the RLAIF video. And I'll let you seek out on your own. I try not to trash people, even though they trash me on a daily basis. I'll let you find the YouTuber who's covering that stock. He's telling them, don't sell. You're going to want to hold this stock to 50 or 100. It was at 20 cents a few weeks ago. It's at 60 cents now. They've already tripled their money. We got an uncertain outcome on a acquisition company with no revenue, $1 million in cash, which is not enough to last them a quarter. And he's telling them, you're never going to want to sell this stock. Brother, I hope you're right. Because if not, they're going to come after you. Harold says, do you think Tesla will survive? I don't know. I'm waiting for Tesla to come down because I sure would like to buy in again. I swing trade Tesla every now and then. Day trade, call or put options. But if I'm going to go long on shares, where do I want it? I don't know if I have a line drawn on here or not. Yeah, I got my buy zone down here around 214 to 240, which I drew after we got support here. So if we come back down in here, that'd be cool with me. I'll try and buy some. I don't know if it'll survive. Elon's been distracted, but you know, good company, overvalued, 162 trailing 12-month PE ratio, 202 forward. It's all it's gonna take is a little bit more bad news. It could easily fall another $100. That'd be cool with me. Tesla's not going anywhere. It's just if you want to own it, how good of a price do you want to be in at? How much risk are you willing to live with? I don't like to buy overvalued stocks. I could love the company. I could like the CEO, but I will wait for a good entry. JP says the future is electric cars instead of hydrogen. Yeah, I think you're probably right. All right, guys, it is about 10:45. I have not eaten dinner yet. And I'm sure the wife would like to spend a little bit of time with me this evening. I've been in here working since 6 this morning, believe it or not. I took a 1-hour break at 3:30. Went to the grocery store and bought my groceries for the next week. But I've been literally here since 6 o'clock in the morning. Crazy. So I need to wrap it up, take a break, get some sleep, get some food, and we'll be back at it in the morning. So if you're in the Discord, I'll see y'all in the morning. If you're not in the Discord, why not? Just a lot of real talk like this. We don't handhold you. You can ask whatever question you want. You might not like the answers, but it's a bunch of people just like me that are got a very real look on life, real look on investing, critical analysis. We want to succeed. We want every company to succeed, but we don't like losing money. So we look for good entries and we take our profits when we can. Discord is free, but it is very limited on the free version. There are a couple of paid options. If you want to support content and live streams, videos from this channel, talks like this, then, you know, consider spending a couple dollars a month and support the channel. And if you don't want to or you can't afford it, there is the free version. And I'm still available on Twitter and YouTube comments. I try and respond to all of those that I can, even for those of you that don't support the channel, even the haters. As long as you can talk like an adult, have an adult conversation, back up your arguments with facts. Don't just give me emotions and conspiracy talk. I want to see your conviction. I want to see your conviction backed up with evidence and facts and data. And then we can have a discussion. Maybe you teach me something. With that, ladies and gentlemen, let's do a little green candle up, red candle down, and we will see you in the morning.
candle down by the dip, gotta hold our ground. We've been waiting for so long, edges rain will soon be gone. A green candle up, a red candle down, by the dip, gotta hold our ground. Edges gains are dead and gone, but the shorts we're going long. If you down and sit and stay.